Awesome. And we're just going to start with nice breathing. So let's place one hand at the chest, one hand at the belly. And I just want you to let yourself come into the room, your own room, and take a nice deep breath in and deep breath out. And just notice the rise and fall of your hands. Seeing if the hands are going in sequence with each other. Are they rising together? Are they falling together? And if you find that one of your hands isn't breathing as well, then focus your attention on that. You might find you're not breathing as much into the belly. You could even place both hands there and give your attention there. If you find you're maybe not breathing out into your chest, try and really sigh the weight of the chest down. Just let yourself calm your mind. Come into this hour for you, where we're still connected. And when you're ready, just slowly start to rock the pelvis, just up and down, north and south, nothing too crazy. Just feeling the motion of your pelvis on the mat, rolling like it's a wave of movement going up and down. So feel as if your pelvis is like a shell on the beach. As you breathe in, the waves are going down and rolling the shell down. And as you exhale, rolling back up onto the beach. Maybe you imagine your body on the sand, sinking your weight into the sand, making a little imprint with the back of your pelvis. Nothing's forceful, nothing's aggressive. It's really calm and opening and soft and nurturing. And maybe feel your feet a little bit pulling into the sand as your pelvis goes down and pressing away the sand as your pelvis goes up. Feel that for a few more times. Just letting your breath assist your movement. One more time. And then come back to where it feels nice and neutral for you. And just start to feel one foot at a time. And maybe just feel as if you're giving the floor, giving your foot to the floor on one side or into your imaginary sand. Don't really think about the other side lifting up, but just kind of send your weight into one foot at a time. So just making that little imprint into the sand. And put just enough weight that you feel that you can release the other foot from the floor. Just enough weight that you can release. Good. Maybe feel the warmth of the sand underneath your foot. The texture of it. If you do have a carpet or a squashy mat, feel that texture. We have a nice thin mat here. Not so squishy. And also feel as your foot is melting into the ground that so is your pelvis. So we're kind of sinking the pelvis at the same time we sink the foot. And maybe also feeling the head and the shoulder imprint as you melt. So really kind of focus on the masses on the mat, the things that are connecting to the floor. Good. Notice, are you drawing down the belly softly, or is it bracing or over-activating? So go to feeling your hands there if you need to. And just do one more on each side, feeling that sand with your foot. And on this next one, I want you to allow the leg to come up a little bit further into tabletop. Good. And I want Katie to feel the leg kind of sinking down into her hip, into the socket of the pelvis. and then arc that leg back down. So as that leg hits the floor, I want you to feel the imprint of the foot, melt your masses into the mat and scoop the other leg up. Nice, feel as if you're dropping that leg, sinking it into the hip, and then float back down. Good, and just do that at your own time, marching from one end, coming into a little bit more of a tabletop position now. Good, almost letting the leg that's floating up feel really light and effortless. And just taking your time, scooping that leg. Imagine like someone's holding it underneath. So if I could almost like hold it from underneath and folding it into the hip. Now on this next one, I want to feel that Katie's allowing that leg, and feel free to drop the foot if you need to allow that leg to feel heavy. So I want all the weight of that leg to drop into your pelvis. And let it feel heavy enough that you can allow the second leg, even if it takes a few breaths to get the second leg up. But sink and spread your pelvis on the mat. Sink and spread your shoulders and your head until that second leg comes up nice and lightly. And just take a breath in there. And I want you to let one leg come a little bit towards you as the other leg arcs down a little bit. Just a little. Good, breathing in and then inhale as you come back. And exhale as you sink the belly gently down as we're arcing the legs. I want you to think of the ball in the socket turning rather than the weight of your thighs. So the ball in the socket deep in your hips. If it feels too much, go back to just the single leg. Okay, so if it feels too much to be in doubles, just go back to the singles where we take one leg off and then the other. So just do one more of these on each side, sinking into the hips on both sides, and even the one that's arcing down. And one more time. Lovely. And then return your foot to the floor, and then the other. Good, and just have a little wiggle. Good. So we're going to do, while we're here, while Katie's here, I'm just going to do a little bit of a side to side. So I want you to come into a happy tabletop. So that could be together with the legs. Yeah, you can have the feet dropped, you could have the legs out and a little bit wider. So just really let your pelvis kind of sink into the mat. So there's no rules of it being perfect tabletop. And also let your hands kind of come to where you can easily support yourself. Okay, and I just want Katie to rock very gently from one side to the other. Be okay to have the legs apart or the legs together. I just want you to feel what feels good and to not restrict your shoulders on the floor. So allow whatever shoulder feels like it wants to come up, which should be the opposite one, to just peel just enough that it feels nice in the trunk. And if this feels uncomfortable, play with your leg position a little bit. Maybe bring the feet down to the floor. So if it's a little bit too much up there, good, just go where you need to go. Yeah, so you can have the feet down and just do a little bit of that nice nurturing side to side. So I want you guys to feel like you're kind of wringing a towel out with your spine. So really nice. Very elastic feeling. Try not to force it or push it. Just really feel where's the edge of your elastic, where can you unwind it back. Okay, that's really important that we're spiraling with the elastic and come back. Good, let's just do one more time on each side, wherever you are. Good. Lovely. This will perfectly transition us to our side. So I'll get Katie to face you. Hello. So if you need more blocks under your head, or if we can lay the arm flat down, that would be great. So we're going to start with bent knees, and we're just going to do a little bit of waking up our hips. So what I'd like you to do is melt the hand as Katie is on the floor and have your knees bent, feet together. And I want you to melt into the bottom leg to allow your top leg to float up lightly. I just want you to feel that stability being triggered and then float it back down. So I want the bottom leg to feel heavy as the top leg just floats up and we feel that sense of stability. And then lower it down. Maybe even feel the weight as it drops down. So it's kind of a lightness as the leg lifts and a heaviness as it drops. Okay, on the next one, you're gonna lift and hold. And we're gonna start to swing the leg backwards as you exhale, a little bit of 12 with the pelvis. You might decide that your bottom leg needs to go more forward for counterbalance, whatever you need. And then inhale as it comes forward, and exhale as it floats back. And I really want to feel this sense of brushing down the front of the leg. Good, just wherever Katie feels she can go without stressing it. Inhale, and I want to really feel that fold into the hip. Good, so the ball is still deep in the socket as we go, and we're brushing down, just feeling the edge of the elastic of the front of the thigh. Inhale to come back into that hip groove, that's better. And then just feel that nice 25% connection there. Good, if you're feeling like your back is moving too much, try and do a little bit more 12, and just really feel the space here. Okay, now we're gonna make it a little bit more dynamic, so I want you to straighten the leg, and start to kick it forward, feel the elastic in the hamstrings, and kick it back. Good. So really play with your bottom leg to where you need it to counterbalance your top leg. If you want it to be straight, that's fine, or if you're happy with it bent. And now I want you to play with this arm. So she's going to keep it where it is as the leg goes forward. And then as the leg goes back, I want you to reach the arm forward. Good, just feel what feels natural. And then you can bring the elbow back as the leg goes forward and reach. Good, feel more glutes there?
Yeah, that's
good.
Nice stretch. Nice.
And reach, good. Watch that rib cage popping. We want to keep that connection. Let's do 2 more. Are we feeling that bum?
Oh yes.
Good, hopefully you guys are as well. In and exhale back. Awesome. And then release. I think I'll get you to turn the other way.
Do you need some water? Are you okay? I'm okay.
I'm just going to unmute you for a second. How are we doing?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, feeling okay?
Yeah.
Emma,
Yeah, good,
okay?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Susie, good?
Good.
And you're hearing me okay?
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, clear and fine?
Yeah, really good.
Awesome. Let's go to the other side. Okay. Awesome. So here we go. We're going to melt into the bottom leg. Float the top leg up. Feel that stability. And just notice your rib cage placement, where it is, that we're not popping forward. And exhale, melt into the leg. Got to notice the time. And back down. Good. So you can also sink the hand into the floor as you do this. Good, and sink it back down. This time we're going to keep it up there. So float it up. Good, and let's start to brush it back or forward. Inhale and exhale. Feel that space in the front of the hip. Feel like the knee is going down towards the wall in front of you, or down below you, I should say. Exhale back. Good. And just notice the difference in sides. Is this side a little bit tighter? So a little bit of 12. Good. Inhale. I also like to feel kind of the sacrum feeling long as the leg goes back. Yeah, so I'm almost lengthening the sacrum down. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of just thinking of the front, we can think of the back of the pelvis as well, staying long. Yeah, more glute there. That's much better. Okay, let's add that straight leg. Okay, so sweep it. Feel like there's a nice big elastic in your hamstring. And exhale. So we'll keep the hand on the floor, feel that anchor, adjust your bottom leg as you need to. Inhale, kick. And exhale back. Good. So a little bit more challenge on that core stability as the leg goes behind you. Add the arm when you're ready. Inhale forward. And exhale, reach. Good. And allow it to connect you more into the back of the leg. So find the angle that works for you. Inhale, just be mindful not to let go of that rib cage connection. Yeah, good. And let's go 2 more. Feel good? Yeah. 1 more. Feel your glutes?
Oh yes.
And we haven't even done bridge yet. and release. Speaking of that, we're going to come to our backs. Okay, so no head blocks for this. And please listen to your body when you're doing bridges. If you feel that there's any discomfort in the back, just ease back, and I'm going to hopefully build you up to this. So remember your sound. Okay, so I want you to really feel your feet melting into the sand. And at the same time, your head and shoulders are feeling really heavy. Just come up to a little hover. So just come up to a hover and almost let go of all the intentions in the bum or the pelvis, other than just that nice little deep transverse connection. Okay, now press a little bit more through the feet, simultaneously sending your legs forward. Good, your sacrum lengthened out. Good, and the space here through the hips. So just slowly bringing that bottom up the back of the legs. Good, and then I want to imagine that the sacrum is going away from the head as you come down. So softly lengthening the back of the neck all the way along. And just keeping that light connection through your deep abdominals. Good. Feel okay?
Yeah, that's nice.
Good. So melt into the feet, equal press if we can. Come up to that little hover. It's just kind of a little check-in. We're in our feet, we're in our head, on our shoulders. Then simultaneous feet, thighs, and almost a feeling like your marble is rolling from your pubic bone and dropping almost into your ribs. There's a nice sense of deep abdominal connection. That's it. And then that little bit of bum and then softly coming down. Good. Awesome. So we're going to do some three-dimensional stuff here. So on the next one, coming up. And if anything doesn't feel good, just go to what feels good. If you're feeling tight in here, you might want to do a little bit of releasing. Okay, so I'm going to let Katie feel that. So what I want you to start with is a side-to-side glide of the pelvis. Use your breath. Okay, so you can see Katie isn't dropping one side and then the other. She's keeping the pelvis nice and level. Good. Nice. And then come back to center. Now I just want her to lower down halfway. So kind of open the bum this time to release halfway. Yes, we're going to come into hip flexion a little bit. So open your bottom. So yeah, less articulation. Lovely. Good. Then come back up. Good. This time I want to do a little bit of alternating. So one hip and really feel the push through the foot gently on each side. Make sure we're keeping the low back long as we do this. We're not going into the low back. Good. Feel okay? Yep. Good. Deep abdominals.
About like 3 and 9.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's our little 3 and 9. Okay. And then come down halfway, opening the bottom. Good. And then come back up. And I just wanted to come down and up into that halfway zone and back up. Good. And halfway zone, so it's more of like an opening bottom rather than an articulation. Good. At the same time she comes up, she's going to connect into the ribs and deep abdominals. Feeling the bum?
Oh, yes.
Good. Okay, now stay up. We've got one more thing. She's going to lift one heel. Good. And back down. And then lift the other heel. You still okay? Rest at any time. And heel. Good. And the other. Good. Let's go for both. And lift. Good. Let's just do 3 of those. And 2. And 1. And then release however way you like. Good, good, good. And then just hug the knees in, whatever you need to do to release out of there. Good, good. Sounds okay?
Yep.
Awesome. So let's go into quadruped, our nice challenging position. And we're trying to kind of get more connection with. So nice spread out hands, springy upper body. We're going to have the toes tucked under like Katie is. Okay, and just kind of get a real sense of springy, not a lot of tension here. Yeah, and let's just go into a little 12 with the pelvis. Good, and I want to feel that nice deep scoop, not too much of a bracing, but just nice and light, and then keeping your deep abdominals on, slowly come back to neutral. Now, Katie's neutral when she can feel that little crease where the leg meets the pelvis, so I would go just a little bit more. Yeah, just a little bit. Now what happens then usually is then the ribs start to flare. So I'm going to connect the ribs and then lengthen out the upper body. Good, a little bit more length through there. So she should hopefully feel a lot of abdominals now.
Yes.
Okay, and then tilt the pelvis again into 12. Okay, so we're just going to find this position which we've been working on in class. Okay, slowly tilt the pelvis without losing those deep abdominals. That's the hard part. So come back to neutral slowly. Yeah, so it's as we transition back to that 6 o'clock or that more neutral, I want to just make sure she keeps that deep support. Okay, just going where it almost feels slightly hyperextended, but I'm looking for that crease there. Okay, then we're going to connect the ribs gently, lengthen through the upper back, so more thoracic extension. It's more thoracic, yeah. So I just want to feel that you've connected there and then lengthened out there. Got that? Yep. A little bit more retraction. Just a little bit. Yeah. Still got abdominals? Yep. Okay, now she can keep all this. Press one hand into the floor, let the other arm come up by your side. Yeah, so we're just going to go into a little row. Yeah. Okay, and she's going to try and keep that feeling of length, that neutral position, and then the other side. So we're just going to alternate from one side to the other. Good, keep that thoracic length. Good, deep belly still on. Oh yeah, just a little bit more retraction, a little bit more length. Good. So I want to feel that that's really challenging. Just do one more on each side. Yeah, and then come back and have a little shell stretch. Good, okay, so that was our prep. So we're gonna try and add just a tiny bit of rotation to that. If you're not happy with doing the rotation, go back to just doing the hands or just coming into that lengthened position, okay? All right, so let's just go into the 12 again. Just to find that connection there, and also to challenge us coming into more of an extension without losing our abdominals, okay? And then go back slowly through until we feel that nice little crease there. Yeah, and like me, the ribs want to kind of display, so not too much, and then lengthen through that upper back, just a little bit of spiral. Okay, so this time Katie's going to come up into that arm position. Yeah, so here, and then I want to push a little bit into the ground with that left arm and rotate. Ooh, and then come back. And we want to try not to rotate the low back. Okay, so press, keep the length, come with the arm by your side, and then she's going to push the ground away so there's a protraction through the shoulder blade, not too much of the elbow pulling back. So if we keep the elbow kind of by the side, yeah. So it's more retraction, protraction. That's better. Feel that more? Yes, I do. Okay, and up. That's the one. Okay, so you can see now her elbow isn't going further back than the shoulder. She can do one more on each side. If you guys need to rest it because it is quite hard. If you're doing it right, or keeping that lovely connection there and that lovely length. It's like keep checking in with the length. Yes. And then have a shell stretch, rest it back. Good. You don't have to do this with the ball, but I know Katie needs the ball to do this. Well, and I find it really helpful. If you don't have a ball, don't worry. You can try and do this without the ball. But we're going to put the ball at the chest and lie prone. Okay, so if you don't have a ball, don't worry. Just do this without. I know Elizabeth has a ball at home, so she's been doing this with there. And we're going to go into your W position, so your pre-swan position. Okay, so the toes are going to be tucked under here. So I'm in the way. Okay, and all I want you guys to try and do is just get this pelvis position first, and then we're going to bring it into the upper back. So I want you to press gently through the knees and allow the pelvis to come up. This is quite challenging. Okay, and when it's up there, if you're not already, and Katie's doing a beautiful job, we need to be more 12. So we don't want the tail sticking up. She's just going to come there for a moment and then come back down because that's quite hard, especially over the ball. And there's going to be a lot of work through the shoulders, even just getting there. You okay with your arms? So make sure the arms are in a good position for you. So up we go, we press into the knees, we come up. I want to make sure our deep belly is lightly lifting up and not bracing, and then release back down. You okay with that? Yep. Okay. Hopefully we're all right with that, guys. So if you're doing this on the floor, you'll just be resting flat and doing the same pelvis position. Make sure you're in 12. Okay, now from there, she's got to keep it there and lengthen her upper body up so she just hovers her head and brings the shoulder blades a little bit into retraction, but without losing the belly, and that's actually really hard. And then, good, you can't breathe. And then come back, and then you can rest the pelvis down. So we only need to do a few of these, okay? So let's do 2 more if we can. So press into the knees, lift. A little bit of 12, okay? So I want that sacrum long, the belly gently up, connecting the ribs, lengthen the upper body, nice. And a little bit of retraction. So if you're doing this on the floor, it doesn't need to be a very big lift. Can we show it without the ball just for one?
We try.
Yes, it's much nicer with the ball, okay? So we'll just press into the knees, lifting up. So this is going to be quite a lot harder for the pelvis. As we can see with Katie now, that 12 is really needing to work quite hard. Her ribs are going to have to work really hard, and then coming up, yes. So you can see this is quite challenging for Katie. And her arms are really working. Good. And then just have a breather. If you want to do one more, that's cool. And she'll stretch back. Awesome. Feel okay?
Yep. That's a lot harder without the ball.
Yeah, so I think if you guys can get a ball for future, that'd be really helpful for these kind of prone positions. Let's give a little break on that before we come back to kind of plank stuff. How you feeling temperature? Yeah, good. Yeah? Yep. Okay, so again, we have an option here for this one of using a flex band, and this is quite nice again if you guys do have a flex band at home, because it gives a little bit of resistance to the mermaid. If you don't have it, don't worry. But what I would do is have something like a stack of books, or if you have a foam roller that you can place your hand on, because you might not be able to go all the way over. Okay, so Katie's gonna face there kneeling. Yeah, and what we're gonna just do here first is just to see how far Katie can comfortably go over. So arms out to the side, yeah, and then we're gonna go over to the right, yeah. And then as she goes over, she's going to let her left leg stretch out to the side. Good. And do you need a little bit of a block there? Yeah, just to, yeah, get some space. Okay, so if you're feeling you're really kind of compressed in here, then we want to prop you up. Okay, and so I want to feel that Katie's got this lovely opening through here, and then she's going to lift back up nice and lengthened to come all the way back up. I'm just thinking we're going to cut off your head. Hi. Okay, so we go up and over. Okay, and I want to feel that Katie's energy is going out this way. This is just the dancer in me. I like to scoop. I like to scoop the arm and really feel like the arm is attached to the ribs, which opens up that side body. Good, and then come back up, lifting through the middle of you to come all the way up. Okay, so the band option, which is really nice, is to put the foot, so you're going to be slightly pressed kind of inwardly with your foot, okay? And then you'll have the band, so I don't want it too tense here. I want Katie to just feel it here. Now I've got some resistance going over. Yep, it's okay, tension, good. And now I can feel where Katie kind of holds her tension a little bit. And then come back up, lifting up. Another nice option is having your hand on the ball. So like a big stability ball would be here, and that's quite nice as well. Okay, and let's go over again. So we want to try and avoid collapsing into here. And so I really want Katie to go out as much as she can, even when she's here. Yeah. And then feel the inner thighs connecting as you come back up. Oh. Yeah, we do one more with her without the band. It's up to you. If you don't have a band, obviously keep doing it without. Good. Another thing to make sure is that we're not kind of flaring the ribs out as we go. Okay, so we're keeping a nice neutral long sacrum. You okay? Yes. And up we go. Lift and release. Good. So let's try the other side. Okay, and one side might be different than the other, so you might need more blocks or less blocks on the other side. So just have a little test one over. Good. How's that feel about right? Yep. Yeah, okay, so just kind of play with what you need, whether you need the foam roller. So I want to feel like the flex band is there, even if it isn't, even if you guys don't have it, and feel like your arm comes from your back. And then come back up and feel like the ribs lift. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's inhale as we go up. Feel our deep abdominals. Okay, so those 25% contraction is there all the time. Could we find more space anywhere? Hip, ribs, even where the head meets the spine. Yeah. Oh, it's a lovely stretch. And then lift with space to come back up. Good. You want to try the band so we're even? Yeah. You don't want to have one with resistance. Okay. So with or without the band, but I want you guys to imagine you've got the resistance. Okay. So imagine the arm is coming from the foot. Yeah, but the arm is attached to your ribs. So it's kind of like the ribs are leading the way. The upper back is leading the way. Good. Yeah. Give me more space through the low back. Good. And then lift from your inner thighs all the way up. Nice. Good. And up we go. Nice big breath in. So just kind of notice the sides and if one side is feeling more restricted than the other. You okay with the tension? Yep. Hopefully she doesn't fling it off. And lift from underneath. Good. Let's just do one more. And up. Good. Just make sure those ribs aren't kind of flaring forward, so keep them connected to your body. That's better. And then zip the inner thighs, come all the way up. Nice one. Good. So we're going to get Katie to sit at the front of the mat. So side facing, hun, so we can do assisted roll back. Okay. Yeah? Okay, so you don't have to go all the way down with this. I'm going to show the option where Katie just goes part way. And if you feel comfortable to go all the way, happy days. So how are you feeling about how? All right. This used to be quite hard for Katie. Okay, so roll the pelvis just a little bit back. And I want you to feel free in the hips. So I don't want you to work too hard in the hips to get there. Just, yeah, let yourself kind of nuzzle back. And then scoop your legs up comfortably. Yeah, and just kind of balance there for a moment, giving your legs to your hands, okay? So you can grab around your legs a little bit more, whatever. Yeah, just have a little wobble there, that's fine. Okay, now I just want you to melt your belly back into your spine to allow you to roll back just a little bit. Yeah, and then catch it, come back up. Good, and then you can place your feet back down for a second, okay? And come back, so I feel all right. Yeah. Wiggly, okay, you can stand. Yes, okay. Okay. Okay, that's all right, as long as it doesn't hurt. And again, if it hurts, then do another version, have a little rest, lie on the back, whatever you need to. So roll yourself back. So it's really important that we kind of let go of the tension here. We're not gripping. Yeah, give to the legs. Let the legs come up and kind of feel that connection between arms and legs. And then melt softly down, almost without effort. And if she can go all the way back beautifully, lovely. Good. And then just kind of like a really happy tabletop, nothing forced, really hold the legs. And I just want you to start to feel the legs going forward to bring the upper body up. So let the weight of the legs kind of pull the arms. Take a breath there. And then let the legs go a little bit more. Let them be the lever that brings you up. Yeah, and if you get stuck, don't get frustrated. Just stay and come back down. Try it again, or you can cheat and just roll yourself back up to the sitting position. So off we go, we melt. And just notice the jaw too. Can we relax the jaw as the hips open? So have a space and melting that deep abdominal connection, 25%. Yes. And just slowly melting down. Good, beautiful. So if we kind of kerplunk a little bit, then something's holding on a little bit too much. And then as the legs go forward, just stop kind of part way up and have a little breath. Notice if you're bracing and gripping too much, could you soften the belly? Let the legs be the lever. Good. I used to do that before. Awesome. Let's just do one more if that feels okay. And play also with the legs being slightly open too. Sometimes the legs being parallel can be very restrictive, so I find just the legs being slightly more open can just play. Okay, see what feels good. So roll, just give sometimes space for the sacrum to be, yeah, that feel nicer. Sometimes just being really restricted and narrow. Sorry, is that my dings? And then exhale to come up and just pause. And even you can have a play with one leg and then the other. So if you're finding you're getting stuck, you can almost like pedal yourself up. Yeah, walking, walking, walking. Good, nice. Awesome. And then we're just going to come all the way back down. Lovely. Now, hopefully we found that awesome tabletop that we did before. So we're going to scoop up to tabletop one at a time. So we're feeling that feather-like quality, dropping the leg into the hip, scooping the other leg up. Good. And then I just want Katie to hold on top of the shins for a moment, or on the knees, wherever feels comfortable. And just start to guide one leg forward and hold and hug the other leg in. Yeah, so we're going to hold with both hands on the leg that's in towards you. It doesn't matter what it is, just hug it as the leg goes out. Inhale to come back in. And then exhale the other side. So single leg stretch. You want to swap? Yeah, yeah. Good. So what I want you to feel with the leg coming in is that you're almost dropping it deeper into your hip, not necessarily squashing it more towards you. It's almost like you're melting it down into your hip more. Does that make sense? Yeah. And there's a feeling like you're kind of pushing this leg into something. Okay, so it's not hanging on the hip. You're almost like pushing into the air, so that the back of the leg feels. So imagine my hand was there pushing. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. So I'm kind of pushing more forward in space. Good. And one more on each side. Lovely. Hopefully we're feeling deeper abdominals. Oh yes. Good. Okay. And then just have a rest. Bring the legs down. Now I'm just going to layer what the arms are going to do. Okay. So take your arms up, floating up, and just do a little bit of protraction, retraction. So gliding the shoulder blades apart and together. Note and point, don't have your phone on while you're doing live videos. Okay, and then I want you to alternate. So one shoulder blade going away from the mat, one shoulder blade coming towards the mat. And start to bring the shoulder blade that's coming back to the mat, bring that elbow down. Good. So the one arm going up and the other arm going down. Now try and see if the shoulder can be behind the elbow. So just pause there, Katie. So what I want is her to feel a little bit more of that external rotation. So I don't know if you can see in her black top, but the elbow is just slightly higher than the shoulder. Just a little bit, so she's kind of going into that retraction, yeah, rather than the elbow being down and the shoulder forward. Okay, now we got to combine that with our leg movement. You ready? Okay, so let's float to tabletop now. I'm going to get the right arm right. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to send one leg forward and the opposite arm is going to come down. Does that feel right? Yeah. Yeah. Does that feel right? Yep. Okay, and change. So she's got her right leg going forward, her right arm coming down. And good. Yeah, that give you obliques. Oh yes. Okay, good. Now I'm going to make her do the opposite. Okay, so it's going to be the same arm going up as the, yes. Good. Okay, feel how that feels. Okay, so the same arm up as the leg going forward. Is our brains farting now? Okay, now I'm doing that so that Katie can start to reach across that. So just pause there. She's going to, yes, reach across and press a little bit her hand into the shin as she's doing retraction here. Feel that? So press, retract. Yes. Up. Yeah, and across. So that should really connect us into the obliques. Up and across. Good, nice. Up and across. So we have that opposite arm to inner shin. Let's go one more on each side. Good, and feel that nice little press down into the floor. Awesome. And then come back in. And return the legs back down.
Oh, that's new.
Yes, do you like? I knew it was wrong when we started going into the cross. Awesome, but it's good to do both sides anyways. So let's come back around onto your front. And we're going to try and do our little swan extension. I'm going to do kind of just regular straight and narrow swan. Okay, so I want you to have as much of a kind of 12 o'clock position. You could play with doing the other option that we did with the toes tucked under and then the knees pressing into the floor with the pelvis tucked, but for Katie that's quite hard to keep that, especially when the elbows are up here. Okay, so we're just gonna try this. So I want to really wiggle that pelvis down, okay? And I want her to really feel that the deep abdominals are able to stay connected here. And she's just gonna slowly start to come forward and up and trying to feel the feeling we felt with the ball. Okay, so it's really just lengthening. Okay, then she's gonna take a little breath in here and she's gonna go a little bit further and start to kind of bring the ribs up a little bit. Good. Okay, and if you feel that that's enough for you, that's fine. We can stop. Yeah, that's good. Nice. So I'm looking for a nice even slope here. That's probably as far as we need to go right now, and then come back down. Now, what might happen is your quads try and overcharge. Okay, so we're just going to try and melt into there. Keep the sacrum long, and just start to lengthen forward with the breath. Good, so deep abdominals in, almost bringing the ribs back like they're retracting. Yes, we've got the shoulders retracted. Oh, gorgioso. That's gonna be a lot of work on those arms, okay? A lot of triceps. So we wanna make sure that we're not hyperextending into there, that it feels like a nice even curve. Even if you just go part way here and you just start to lengthen and go out, that can be enough, okay? And then, yes. So it's really important those ribs come with you, that they don't get left behind. Good, feeling okay? Yep, good. And come back, and we can do one more. Okay, so check in, pelvis nice and long, and space in the hips coming forward. Deep abdominals on, ribs kind of almost retracted back, but with length. Good, yes. Awesome, 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 awesome. Lots of triceps. And release it back down. And then shell stretch back. Now it's perfect timing for us to go into our planks. Sorry, guys.
Do you know what?
You getting on? Yeah, finally. I think we got all the heaters on. Okay, we're just gonna have a little check-in with you guys, and we'll probably just do 5 more minutes. Jenny, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Oh. Emma, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you.
How was that last one?
Yeah, hard.
Yeah, feeling okay?
Yeah, feeling good though.
Susie doesn't want to unmute.
Oh, I'm here.
You're
Sorry.
there. How you do with your back, hon?
Yeah, I'm just doing little variations. I'm good.
Okay. Yep, do what you can. And Elizabeth, how you getting on? She might not. Elizabeth, are you there? Okay, hopefully she's okay. Okay, guys, so we'll just do a few more exercises. We might start, finish in a standing pose, and then we will call it a day. So, whoops. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so let's go back to quadruped. So we're going to go back to that feeling that we had before when we were kind of prepping the rotation. So going into the 12, coming back to neutral, making sure we have those deep abdominals on, feeling a connection to the ribs. So we don't want the ribs kind of falling to the floor, but not too much that then we lose the length. Now thoracic length and a little bit of retraction. I know it's really hard. And length. Okay, so now she's got to keep that as the hands start to walk forward. Okay, now there might be a little bit of losing and catching and losing and catching and losing and catching. So she's going to slowly start to walk down to where the forearms can come to the ground and her weight is slightly more forward. So maybe walk a little bit more on the elbows. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into our kneeling plank. So let the hips go forward just a little bit more. Yeah, you walk forward a little bit more, your arms. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so now when we're here, we need to be potentially slightly more 12, okay? And then with thoracic length. So a little bit of retraction with the shoulders. Yeah, lengthen almost beyond your arms. Yeah, head there, good, good, good. So we've got deep abdominals. Yes, Connected ribs, lengthened upper body. So I'm just doing little mini adjustments. So deep abdominals, wide ribs, lengthen, come back into a little bit of retraction. Yeah. Okay, you all right?
Yep.
Feel that? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and then come back and just rest a second your pelvis. If you feel your low back doing that, you just have to do little mini adjustments to get the 12, get the ribs. Okay, you okay to go again?
Yeah.
You all right?
Come back to bottom bed.
No, well, you can if you want, or you can just come back to that elbow position. Okay? So coming back forward. So I always kind of start with my pelvis, get the 12, and get the deep belly on, so I'm not kind of over bracing. Then I kind of connect with the ribs, and then lengthen through the upper back with a little bit of retraction. So let the shoulders come together just a little bit more. I know, a little bit more. Yes, and length, good. I know she's working really, really hard to not lose that while she has retraction. Breathe, and breathe at the same time, a little bit more. A little bit, yeah. Now she's shaking a little bit. You okay?
A little bit.
Then come back. Good.
Woo.
Yeah. So have a little breather. Unfortunately, she's going to do it one more time. You can have a break from this if it's too much, or just go back to the quadruped and just do a little bit of the single arm. Okay, the key is getting that thoracic extension with the neutral. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Okay, for
Yeah,
one
right,
more.
yeah.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so deep abdominals as we tilt the pelvis. Good. Okay, so I'm always looking underneath that it's not hanging down, but also that it's not bracing. Okay, rib cage connected, and then she's got to settle into her shoulders just a little bit. So retract slowly. This is where that whole exercise comes in handy. Yeah. So length, that's it. That's much better. Good. Breathe. And as we progress, we would take one leg off the floor, but not today. Okay, and then come back. Yeah, that was a better one.
Yeah.
Okay, so just take it a little moment and we will finish just with a nice little standing pose. Breathing a little bit to each side. Okay, so let's come to standing. Can we maybe just come off the mat? We'll turn sideways for this. We're going to do like a little stork balance, whichever. Yeah, so side facing. Okay, so I just want you to get into your standing posture, everyone. Okay, so bringing the pelvis back over the heels so that we make sure that we're, I don't know if you can see, that he's stacked. So I like to just sway my pelvis forward and back and forward and back, and kind of find where those deep abdominals just naturally come on. Take pressure if you do feel that your knees are kind of locking out, soften through the knees, come up through the deep body. Okay, now we're going to send one leg behind, so just slide that leg back, whichever one you want to do. Yeah, awesome. Now you can put your hands on your hips if that's helpful, or one hand in front of the belly, one hand behind. And I want Katie to tip her pelvis forward with a little bit of bend in the supporting knee, and let the back leg float up. So you're going into a little stork stance. Try and keep the pelvis level. It'll try and twist as it goes. Good. Yeah. Awesome. Feeling the inner thighs as you come into this position, and then come straight back up and lower the foot back down. Good. So we're tipping the pelvis over the leg. Yep, softening through the supporting knee, so feel space there. Good, and it's the pelvis that leads rather than the leg. The leg is kind of just counterbalance. Feel your deep abdominals spreading out, so your transverse abdominis, and come back up. So we should feel that left hamstring glute.
Yes,
yeah, okay. So if we twist, we're gonna feel a little bit into the side of the hip. Let's just do one more here. Good. So tipping that pelvis over the leg and coming back up. Awesome, and then change sides. Woo! Okay, so nice and lifted into that standing posture. Feel that transverse abdominis, and then gently tipping forward. Good, and breathe, of course, as you're doing it. I like to feel the inner thigh of the back leg, almost like it's wrapping up. Yeah. And then come back. Good. And just do 2 more. So feeling the inner thigh of this back leg almost turning up towards the sky. That's really going to make it go into the back of the supporting leg. Good. And back up. Lovely. 1 more. And good. Softening behind the knee. Good. See if one side feels different than the other. And then come back. And just standing facing front. Just take a nice breath in. And exhale back. We did it, I think.